season TGIF edition of a show. Hottest show on the streets here on the Friday, giving you that Bama football news in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. How we feeling? How we feeling? Excuse me, one more time. How we feeling? Bring you the show. The Magic City of Birmingham to wrap up the bye week. We're giving you the show from Magic City of Birmingham. You can stream the show via YouTube. Speaking of the channel, you go ahead right now. You tap that subscribe button. You hit subscribe right now. You get every friend, family member, diehard Bama fan, casual Bama fan, consumer of Tide football too. Subscribe as well, because if you're feeling the content, they will also. Hit that thumbs up, like the show, run those likes up to the moon. We're trying to get this thing 50 likes out the gate. Start the show, we appreciate that. The daily super chat go $100 daily. Super chat going $100 right there. Thanks to you guys. Bama on the bye week, but we all know what looms next. LSU. The matchup next week, Bryant-Denny, November 4th, 6:45 p.m. Central Time kickoff, CBS. This game always has been massive matchup. When you look at conference championship indications or implications, national championship implications, recruiting implications, Bama LSU has always been something of marquee importance. But to begin, Eli, topic number one of the conversation this evening, is Bama getting a new punt returner? Big news came out Wednesday in player interviews involving one sophomore wide receiver, Isaiah Bond, who told reporters, you should be seeing me soon, returning punts. This is big. Isaiah Bond, of whom a former four-star electric wide receiver, Buford High School in Georgia, a young man that's a big-time playmaker. And Bama looks like it's making a change there on punt return, trying to get a bit more explosive play, trying to get a bit more positivity, trying to get a bit more action where the special teams is concerned. Now, Kool-Aid McKinstry has served as the punt returner this season, and of course last year as well. And Kool-Aid, good defensive back, good corner, but being a punt returner, that's a whole different skill set, Eli. As a cornerback, you're playing on an island. It's mano a mano, man on man. I'm locking up your best guy. You're playing on an island, so to speak. As a punt returner, you're more of an offensive guy, right? You're setting up the offense with either a really good field position, or if you're that good, you take the ball coast to coast and you score it yourself, the punt returner. On top of that, that position requires you to be a lot more keen in on catching the ball cleanly, judging the bounce of the ball well, not losing your team field position. Even upon catching the ball or fielding the ball, but you got to look at, where's my block setting up, who's blocking for me, which lane do I take, how many can I make the first guy miss that tries to attack me? There are so many variables when it comes down to returning punts, and Kool-Aid, the variables not in his favor. So now you look at an Isaiah Bond, of whom returned punts in high school, did a pretty good job of that at Buford High. He is the fastest player on the team. We've seen that, right there in front of us. So here is his opportunity to create explosiveness, to create lightning, to create big plays in that area of the football aspect. And in years past, we've seen marquee punt returners in the Nick Saban era. Javier Arenas started it off. You had Javier Arenas do it. We've seen success from Eddie Jackson doing it. We've seen success from Christian Jones and Cyrus Jones doing it. We saw success from Jalen Waddle do it. So here comes Isaiah Bond. So this is going to be very funny to watch. Once again, no offense to Kool-Aid, but Isaiah Bond gives you that added element of explosiveness. He gives you that added element of big playability. He gives you that added element of being able to take it to the house and give you another option to score on that side of the ball. And if I've said this once, Ian, I've said this quite a few times, what is something that former offensive coordinator for Alabama, Steve Sarkisian, said? You want to frustrate a defense so much to where they have to defend every inch, every angle of the field. You want to do so many different things well. And for Alabama, what's kind of been a struggle so far is on punt return. Can Bama have a guy that can take that rock coast to coast, that can take that football and score with it from special teams point of view? So here we go. Isaiah Bond mentioning on Wednesday, I returned punts in high school. I've been working on it here at Alabama. You should be seeing me soon returning punts. So I'm looking forward to watching that take place there on the field. And maybe, remember, 2019, Jalen Waddle took a punt return back for a touchdown against LSU. That was 2019. Does Isaiah Bond do it next week? Hey, something to kind of think about right there. He does wear number 17, by the way. So just something to think about right there. We take our first break here on the show. Don't touch that dial. We're just getting you started here upon our return. We go on the phone lines. We grab your calls, your thoughts, your conversations. I mean, how do you feel about Isaiah Bond getting that shot there as a punt returner? We'll get your thoughts right after this.
Nine players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
All right, folks, we're back, rocking and rolling to the action from the break on a Friday. Hottest show on the streets. Number one forum for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Happy to have you guys here. And gotta give a shout out to my man, Dale B. Dropping in that $20 donation. Putting the love there in the bucket there. Appreciate Dale B. And then my man Bill, Big Bill from New York with the $5 donation helping us out there. That daily super chat go, $100 daily. Super chat go, $100 right there. Thanks to all of you. We go to the phone lines now to grab your calls. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. Number to call in there, 205-448-1358. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
How's it going, Steve? This is Jay from Pensacola.
Jay, what's happening, man?
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. I mean, I know it's kind of weird, Bama on a bye week not playing anybody, but the guys have gotten some rest in, have gotten work in, guys have gotten healed up from some nagging things, and that they're getting themselves prepared for SEC West showdown with LSU.
Yes, I am excited. and anxious at the same time. I got four things actually. The first thing I'm going to ask you a question before you go to break. I am excited about somebody. I was very excited. I've been saying this for a while. I think Isaiah Bond should return point, but somebody else brought to my attention. We can't afford to lose Isaiah Bond if he gets hurt. He's one of our dynamic players. So I recall back the 2020 season when Jalen Water got hurt from doing punt return, and we lost him for the season. We still won the season, Water, but that was the one concern. My number one question is who makes the beats when we be waiting for you to come on? Because the beats are fire, first of all.
Okay, so the guy makes the beats is our own John Ivory, the producer of the show. So John Ivory makes the beats, and he just has an ear for music. So John produces the beats. That's John Ivory's brainchild right there.
He does an amazing job. I give him 10 thumbs up. My second question is: do you think the committee will do the same thing to Alabama what they did to Kansas State last year, TCU? Kansas State had one loss too, but they beat TCU in the conference championship. But yet they still put TCU in there because they had an undefeated season. So if Alabama beats Georgia at the conference, I don't see the committee keeping Georgia out, off the rip. So do you think there's a possibility?
I would say this, Jay. It would depend on how badly Alabama beats Georgia, right? If Bama was to go out there and beat Georgia by 14 plus, then I could see the committee definitely putting Alabama in over Georgia. If it's like a game where, okay, Bama wins by 3, field goal at the end, then that's where it could become very dicey. For Alabama, though, the focus has to be they got to play their complete game, LSU on out, and then get other teams ahead of it to lose. Thankfully, Alabama's back in the top 10 of the AP poll at number 9, but it's got to get other teams to lose. And then from LSU on out, they've got to start getting some complete game victories here.
Okay, and my last question. I know Nick Saban is not the complete, not the tricky play type person like Lane Kiffin is, but I just had an idea. It may be stupid, but I want your opinion on it. So you know how we got a 4th and goal, and we get ready to punt, we get ready to kick a field goal. Will Rocker is absolutely amazing. He has a missed since Tennessee, but I was thinking, have Ty Simpson like he's finna hold the ball, and Ty Simpson make a play. There could be something. It's a risky play, but it could be something that works. What's your opinion on that?
Jay, now the holder is James Burnap, but if in practice, if Saban and the special teams coach, which I believe is Coleman Hutzler, he does both special teams and outside linebacker. So if Saban and Coleman Hutzler got together at practice and they're like, okay, let's try something here. If something were to happen and we could have Ty Simpson as the holder, and if something were to break down, we could have Ty Simpson scramble around to make a play, or Ty Simpson find somebody in the back of the end zone. It could happen. It could very well happen. It comes down to, has Nick Saban and Coleman Hutzler thought of a plan for that?
Right. I agree. And I thank you for taking my call. And I'll see you Monday. And have a good day and roll tide.
Appreciate Jay from Pensacola calling in, getting us started here on a Friday. We grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
How about you, Lucky? Mike from Kentucky.
Mike, what's going on, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing great.
I can't complain here, Mike. I mean, I know it's the bye week, and a lot of people are like, well, Alabama gets a rest this week, but The guys have practiced well. Mentally, they're focused. Bama got some guys healed up from some minor bumps and bruises. Could be seeing a new punt returner. How about that?
Yeah, I tell you what, bro. The last time our punt returner wore number 17, that cat flipped the field a bunch. Waddle was one of the best we've ever had, bro. I don't know. Between him and Arenas, that's the best two I can remember.
I mean, Waddle was phenomenal. Arenas was phenomenal. Cyrus Jones, the back half of 2015, got really good. Eddie Jackson was good in 16. I hate Eddie got hurt against A&M
he got
that
hurt
year.
Against Ole Miss, didn't he?
Yeah, no, Eddie got hurt against A&M the following week.
Oh, A&M?
Yeah, A&M. Now, Ole Miss was the game where Eddie took a 85-yard punt return back, and that was a thing of beauty, helping Alabama beat Ole Miss. What was that score, like 46 to 40 or something crazy like that? Yeah.
Right. I'll tell you what, I got a feeling that Kool-Aid's going to have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder against LSU. I bet his coverage is going to be tighter than a bullfrog's butt, brother.
I think Saban may have him defend Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, you know how tight that is, don't you?
That is real tight, real tight.
Watertight, brother. A bullfrog's butt's watertight, brother.
Man, so what you're telling me, Mike, is Kool-Aid ain't finna let that man go nowhere.
No. Kool-Aid ain't nothing getting by Kool-Aid against LSU. You know, I mean, I hope it don't make him too mad, but I hope it puts it's going to give him an edge. Like, okay, now what? You know, I tell you that I've been thinking about this game a little bit. I think the big mistake you make when you're playing LSU's quarterback, God dang, I got brain locked. What's his name?
Daniels.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels, is you try to contain him more than sack him. If you over pursue in your pass rush, that cat takes off every time and he gets big yards. How many times have you seen that dude turn a third and 13 into a first down with his legs? Most of the time, he depends on his legs, and they have a lot of confidence in his legs. I think if you just contain him, keep him in the pocket, our DBs and linebackers will take care of the rest.
Mike, I agree with you, and that's going to be big there on the defensive ends. That being a Boygby, Jaheim Otis, T.M. Smith, and then your outside guys, Dallas Turner and Chris Braswell. You don't want to dip inside. You want to hold that outside leverage. Right. Now, your inside guys, Tim Keenan, you want those guys collapse in the pocket so that way he can't step up. But you don't want your outside guys dipping in. You want them staying outside.
Yeah, you got to contain that cat. If you over pursue him, try to rush on from the outside and lose containment, dude, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone like smoke, and you ain't going to catch him. All right, man, that's all I got to say, brother. Roll Tide, everybody. Y'all have a good weekend.
Appreciate Mike from Kentucky calling in here on a Friday. And that's the big thing with Jaden Daniels. He's elusive. He's got, 20? He's got like 20. He's got 30 total touchdowns this season. He's got 30 total. He's got 5 rushing, 25 passing. Jaden Daniels, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Definitely the best quarterback statistically in the Southeastern Conference right now. So you can't afford to lose containment of him. We're going to take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening, how we feeling, state your name, and where you calling from.
What's up, Steven? It's Isaac from Mobile.
What's going on, Isaac? How you doing, man? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Isaac. I mean, I know for a lot of us it's weird, the bye week, not seeing Bama football this weekend, but typically the bye week comes before LSU. You get some rest in there. You get to heal yourself up from bumps and bruises, and then you get a chance to prepare for another SEC showdown the following week.
Absolutely. Hey, I want to talk about Kool-Aid, though. Steve, what's going on with Kool-Aid, man? He'll cover. He good in coverage, but this year he's starting to act a little diva-ish to me. It's like he don't want to catch the punt. He don't want to tackle. I've been watching him this year, Steve. He don't look the same he looked last year. Because last year he was talked about as one of the best punt returners in the country. This year you don't want to catch the ball. What's going on with Kool-Aid, Steve? What you think?
I'm gonna like this. Some of it could be definitely NIL related. When you get all of this NIL funds, when you get all these NIL money, and you're putting it on the chains and the jewelry, which I'm not gonna tell a guy how to spend his own money. You spend your money how you want to spend your money, but at the same time, NIL plays a role in that. And I mentioned this also. When you get to that junior, senior year, and these NFL scouts start watching you and documenting your tape, it's kind of a catch-22 because some players feel like, okay, it's my junior year. I don't want to go too hard because I don't want to get hurt. So some guys try to reserve themselves. And while I can see that, the negative to that is the NFL teams see you trying to preserve yourself. They see you not going as hard. They see you not putting your all into it, and they're documenting that down. And they're wondering, okay, if he's not giving his all his junior year at Alabama, when we draft him, is he not going to give us all for us when we draft him to the NFL? So it's a catch-22 with that. When you look at, I'm not trying to get hurt, but at the same time, these NFL scouts are coming to watch you go balls out. And when you don't go balls out, they're documenting that as well.
Right. Yeah, and that's how I feel. I mean, you hate to say a guy is, not playing because he got money or whatever, but I mean, hey, it is what it is, because I mean, Coach Saban said he can do it, or whatever he said. Yeah, he can do it, but it don't seem like he want to do it, so
that's the thing.
Like, man,
that's the thing. It's like Coach Saban is not going to downplay his guys. We know this. He's not going to downplay his guys. He's never been that way. So obviously we know Saban's going to say Kool-Aid is more than capable, which he is. But it's a difference between being more than capable and actually wanting to do something. When you look at Isaiah Bond talked about, I just want to play football. I just want to be on the field. So Bond wants to do it.
Yeah, so at this point, I'm like, let him do it. Hey, Steve, I'm still mad at Kool-Aid, man. When we played Texas A&M, and it was that one play when Anais Smith ran up the side. I think it was like third or fourth quarter. But anyway, man, Kool-Aid had a chance to knock Anais Smith block off. I don't know if you remember the play I'm talking about, but they had him like trapped almost.
Yeah.
Running right into Kool-Aid. He had a chance to knock his block off. See, I ain't saying try to hurt the man. But I mean, come on, Kool-Aid. Like, lay a lick on him. He tried to grab him, Steve, and Nye Smith went up the sideline, and he almost scored. They called it back. But when I saw that, Steve, I'm like, he don't want to tackle. He don't want to tackle. He don't want to catch the punt. I guess because they told him he the number one cornerback coming out of college this year. I don't know. I'm like, but anyway, put Isaiah Bond back there because Kool-Aid don't want to catch the punt. But anyway, that's all I got, Steve. Appreciate you for taking my call.
Appreciate you right there, Isaac from Mobile, helping us out on a Friday. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith, TDA. We grabbed this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hi, Stephen. Bill from New York. What's up, man?
Doing good, Bill. Got a bye week here. Bama got a chance to heal up, rest up, and the next week, LSU comes to Tuscaloosa.
Nah, that's all right. But let me tell you, the first half, we have another first half like last week, and I'm going to have to watch the games with my cardiologist. Or maybe even maybe I'll go to the ER and watch games on the portable TV in there, whatever you call it. But, that was rough, that first half. I'm texting, wailing, obscenity-laced tirades. I'm free. How many times can I change my shirt? But I got to tell you, when Diana came home, she was visiting her mother. She walked in, touchdown, and we're getting all these points, and she's like, I got to go. Wait, come on, just give me a few more points. She got it. So, but anyway, what I want to talk about is the defense. It's an offensive game nowadays. We all know that. But this defense is just so good. Look, I count 6 linebackers that are going to the NFL guaranteed, and that's the guys I know about. 6 linebackers. And what makes it even better is our line. The defensive line is so much better than it was last year. It's so much better, and it makes it easier for them. And the secondary is deep. We're going to make this guy Daniels. You're going to think he's Charlie Daniels by the time we're finished with this guy. We're going to annihilate LSU. We're going to walk on them. That's it. You know what I mean? And even like I say, even though it's an offensive game, you know, our defense is just that good. What do you think, Steven? Are we going to just dominate them and walk on these fools?
I look at this game, Bill. I like how this defense has been trending. These guys are completely locked in. They saw what happened last year. They're not trying to have that happen again. But what I love, Bill, is the emergence of Chris Braswell. People have been talking Dallas Turner, and Dallas deserves everything that's been thrown his way in terms of awards and recognition. But what about the job by Braswell this year? I mean, Braswell is sacking everybody left and right. The job that Quandarius Robinson's done, Jihad Campbell, Deontay Lawson, and in the secondary, I mean, my goodness, Caleb Downs. We knew the kid had something special about him, but what a season he's having.
Absolutely. And it's funny with Braswell, 3 times this year, and I might have missed a few, I doubt it, but I've seen him knock an offensive lineman into the quarterback, and they both fall down like bowling pins. That guy's got superhuman strength, you know, and let me tell you, man, I just think we're going to annihilate this team. But look, thanks for taking my call. Roll Tide. I'm not even worried about this nonsense. We're gonna hurt them. Take it easy, Steven.
Appreciate Bill from New York calling in here on a Friday, giving his thoughts on the show. We're going to grab this one. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
How you doing, Steven? This is Pat from Atlanta.
Pat, what's happening, brother?
Doing pretty good, man. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. Doing good. I know it's kind of weird for me, this being the Alabama bye week, me not being able to go to Bryant-Denny to check out a game this week. But the players need to rest too. The players need to rest. Coach Saban needs to rest and get retooled up. And even I myself could use a rest here.
Right. I mean, us as fans need a rest too. We need to recuperate, you know, from the season. It's hard on us too as fans, and you know what I'm saying. So, and all that. But I was just calling in, man, to tell you my concerns. Just going there and finish the rest of the season. Remember we talked about a few weeks ago when we talked about, it was actually before, was the Mississippi State game when it might be before that game when we was talking about Coach Saban and not being into the game or not getting riled up. And I think that next game he kind of changed the whole, script of it. You know what I'm saying? He started getting on the guys. You know what I mean? So I think that this coaching performance he put on this year is the best, the best coaching I've ever seen from, man. Like he's really into it. But my only concern is left tackle, man. Proctor is he's too big. He's too big, and he's not recovering from a fast lineman. Like that's not a position no more to be extremely too big. The position now, if you look at a tackle like Trent Williams, something like that, that's a you know what I'm saying? He's an athlete. He's not burly big. You know what I mean? He's slim, fit, and can recover from speed rushes now. So, and left tackle, the only thing that concerns me, he's just a little too big, man. He needs to drop some weight, I think. But
I think this offseason, I think this offseason, Pat, what Caden Proctor should do, hook up with Miss Amy Bragg, the head nutritionist of the entire strength and conditioning staff, along with Miss Bragg, and cut about 30 pounds. If he can cut about if he can cut about 30 to 40 pounds, get himself down 325, 330. If he can get down 325, 330, because keep in mind, Jaheim Otis came in huge. Otis cut over 100 pounds. Look at how much better he's playing. Tim Keenan came in huge. Tim Keenan cut about 28 to 30 pounds, and now Tim Keenan's a flat dog. Look at how he's playing. So if you're Caden Proctor, get with Miss Amy Bragg this offseason, get with the conditioning staff, cut about 30 to 40 pounds, and you'll be a whole lot better.
Whole lot better. All right, appreciate it, Stephen. Roll Tide, man.
Appreciate Pat there from Atlanta calling to the show on a Friday, 205-448-1358. And I'm going to call in to let your voice be made known on the show, 205-448-1358. But I'm right there, even on a bye week. But cool call topic here, Eli. And Eli, I'm going to try my best not to cry here in announcing this call topic because I got a chance to cover both of these two young men during their time at the University of Alabama. Blood could not make these two any closer. You want to talk about they laughed together, they cried together, they cared about football together, they won games together. As freshmen, they helped Alabama win a national championship in 2020 when they both became impactful starters. The job that both of these two did in their final game together, they shared an emotional hug in the All-State Sugar Bowl in New Orleans when they both got drafted in the top 3. Another emotional hug was shared. Bryce Young and Will Anderson will go toe-to-toe against each other Sunday on Fox. Carolina, Houston. Oh, gosh, Eli, what a game this is going to be. I mean, I understand the NFL is a quarterback league. I get it. And people will put so much on Bryce Young versus C.J. Stroud, the two friends from California. I get it. They're going to do it like that. But Will and Bryce going at it. Oh, man. Carolina looking for its first win of the season. Houston 3-3 on the year. So much Bama on the field. Carolina, you got Bryce versus Bradley Bozeman. Bryce and Bradley Bozeman, excuse me. That's Carolina. Houston, you got Will Anderson, Henry To'o. You got Will, Henry, Christian Harris, John Mechie. And then you got the head coach of Houston, D'Amico Ryans, who played at Bama. So much Bama on the field. But Bryce and Will, I mean, Eli, what fun that's going to be. Two young men that love each other, that greatly respect each other, that represented Tide football in a first-class way. Fox got a good one. Fox got a good game at noon on Sunday. Going to be a phenomenal one to watch right there. We take a break right here, folks. We'll touch that down upon our return. We dive into one Jaden Daniels, LSU quarterback, and how Alabama's pass rush, led by Dallas Turner, is ready for him. We'll talk about it right after this.
What's up, Bama Nation? This is Rudy Griffin, former Alabama defensive lineman, and you're listening to my guy, Stephen M. Smith, in my own words, brought to you by Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Roll Tide, roll!
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
We're back into the action, folks, from the break. Hottest show on the streets. Talking Bama. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of TDA. Got my man Eli Walker in the production studio. Continue hitting the like button, tapping that thumbs up, liking the show, hitting that subscribe button as well. Eli, before we get into topic 2, I had to chuckle to myself during the break because I love my wife. I really do. My wife, Mia, does an incredible job supporting the show, and Eli, she kind of had me laugh there, so I'm going to tell you why she made me laugh. So, Eli, my wife texts me. She goes, I can't believe you said even you could use a break. And so, as I'm staring at you, Eli, from across the glass here, Eli, you think you and I can use a rest too? I mean, Eli, we go hard, man. We go hard covering Alabama football. I mean, every Saturday, Eli, you are on the field getting some of the best video known to mankind. I'm upstairs trying to provide stats and information, and we're both in a Nick Saban press conference trying not to get chewed out by Coach Saban. I think the both of us can use a rest too. I think we could. But shout out to my wife, Mia. Always keep me laughing. That phenomenal woman. Fellas, get you a woman that can make you laugh. When she can make you laugh and love Jesus at the same time, you got yourself something. But enough of me giving relationship advice. We're jumping back into the second topic here of conversation, being Bama taking on LSU next weekend, coming off the bye week. And we go back to last year. That was one of the games that Alabama lost to put it in the All-State Sugar Bowl instead of competing for an SEC championship and a national championship. Alabama suffering a 32-31 loss in overtime to LSU at Tiger Stadium. And in that matchup, Jayden Daniels had a big game. Had 182 yards passing, 95 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns in that matchup. And here we go again, Alabama, LSU. Now, in the past, this game meant a whole lot, and it still means a whole lot. But in recent years, we talk about this game, SEC implications. The winner of this game typically wins the Western Division of the Southeastern Conference and goes to Atlanta to play for an SEC championship. This game has national championship implications. Normally in the past, the winner of this game has went on to compete for a national championship. And then where recruiting is concerned, Nick Saban has been able to walk right into the boot, right into Louisiana, and get whoever he want to get. After beating Alabama last year, Brian Kelly feels like, okay, we can keep some of this in-state talent in-state. So, conference championship, national championship, and recruiting has been the big 3 things as to why this matchup has been so important down through the years, especially in the Nick Saban era. And here we go again. The winner of this matchup wins the SEC West. The winner of this matchup, a shot to potentially play for a national championship. And the winner of this matchup, recruiting is going to be at an all-time high. And Brian Kelly got a chance to beat Alabama last year, so you know he's hungry to do it again. You know he wants a second shot at getting back-to-back victories over Coach Saban. You know Brian Kelly is going to want to beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa. You know he's about that, and he wants to be about that. So it's going to be, a highly intriguing matchup. And Coach Saban has used this bye week to get his guys ready to take on LSU, whether it's been having guys taking care of the bodies, getting back, healthy after dealing with some bumps and bruises the first half of the season, whether it's been him having these guys work on fundamental tackling and covering and the things that they did in fall camp, whether it's having guys look at the mental aspect of watching film. Saban has done several different things over the bye week to get this team locked in on next week as a marquee matchup. You got LSU, and you got to be ready here for this particular game. And when you talk Jayden Daniels here, well, not Jayden Daniels, when you talk Alabama's defense here and preparing for Jayden Daniels, here is Kevin Steele and this Alabama defense. I mean, they got a shot to really do something nice here. Alabama has been a second-half team all year. They've been a second-half team, especially on defense, where you talk about holding Ole Miss to 3 points in the second half, holding Mississippi State to 7 points in the second half, holding Texas A&M to 3 points in the second half, and then shutting out Tennessee in the second half just last week. So Kevin Steele and this defense They got a chance to go out here and really handle business against Jayden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, and a very explosive LSU offense that can score. They can put up points with the best of them. So, big challenge here for Steele. And a big challenge for Alabama's defense, especially the defensive front, in containing Jayden Daniels. Once again, this is a young man, 30 total touchdowns on the season, 25 passing, 5 rushing. He's one of the top quarterbacks in college football, is the top quarterback in the Southeastern Conference. He is a Heisman contender, the Heisman frontrunner. And when you got a guy who's that athletic, here is where not necessarily – now, we all like to see sacks. We all like to see the opposing team's quarterback get drilled to the ground. We like seeing that. But here's a game where sacking the quarterback isn't necessarily the big deal. Affecting and containing the quarterback is, right? Because Jayden Daniels is that type of athlete to where if you over-pursue and he breaks containment of the pocket, now he can use his feet, and he's picking up 10, 12, 15 yards, and it's frustrating your defense. This is a game where you want to see gap integrity at the highest level. Your defensive ends, Tim Smith, Justin Aboigbe, Jaheim Otis, Jamarian Latham, these guys have got to control the outside edge as defensive ends. You can't allow the offensive lineman to force you to go inside to where Jayden Daniels can pop outside. No, you got to keep that outside contained and force him to step up, but step into guys like Tim Keenan, step into guys like Damon Payne, step into those interior defensive linemen. I mean, this is a big game for Dallas Turner and Chris Braswell. Now, if you get your hands on Jayden Daniels to sack him, finish the play. Finish it. If you get your hands on number 5, finish the play off. But bigger than that, rushed outside, keep contained on him, force him to either step into the rush on the inside, collapse in the pocket, or force him to throw that football away. You got to be able to contain Jayden Daniels. Sacks are good. They make the stat sheet look great. But this is a game against LSU where sacks aren't the big thing. Containing an athletic quarterback, containing a Heisman Trophy frontrunner is the big thing. And Dallas Turner spoke on it this week in player interviews. He said, we got to all be on the same page. They got a really good quarterback in Daniels. They got a really good group of wide receivers. They got a solid offensive line. This is a very exciting matchup, but we got to be on the same page. That's what Dallas said. We got to be on the same page, doing our job, following our responsibility, reading our keys here. And the biggest key for Alabama is going to be gap assignment football. Eye discipline. Bama's got eye discipline, and they play gap assignment football. Should be able to handle Jayden Daniels. But we go to another break right here, folks, from the show. Don't touch that dial. When we get back, we jump into, again, those phone lines. Ring those lines up. Light us up. Let us know how you feeling. We get to you, the Bama Nation, right after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today.
This is Chris Rogers, 2009 national champion. You are listening to the baddest, when I say the baddest, sports show in the state of Alabama. In my own words, you know, yours truly, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Don't touch that dial.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, folks, we're back in, rocking and rolling to the action from the break on a Friday. TGIF edition of the show. Hottest show on the streets, covering your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith, TDA. Got my man Eli Walker in the production studio right here. Continue hitting that thumbs up, tapping the like button, smashing the like button, making this your spot here for all things Bama, hitting that subscribe button as well. Daily Super Chat Go, $100. Daily Super Chat Go, $100 right there. Appreciate all of you. We're going to go to the phone lines to grab your calls. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. Number to call in, 205-448-1358. You're live on the show. What's happening, how we feeling, state your name, and where you calling from?
What's going on, Steven? It's your boy, Coach Smook, man. Been a while. How you doing, brother?
Coach Smoke, man, I can't complain. My man can't complain here. I know Bama on that bye week. It's all kind of weird. No football for Bama, but we all can use a rest, even one Coach Saban, but he's got the guys ready to roll next week for LSU.
Oh, yeah, man. I think so. This team is, they're turning that switch on at the right time. I made a tweet last week after the Arkansas game, and I said the college football's biggest fear is that Alabama's going to figure it out before it's too late, and all the hype that's out in the pack and everywhere else is going to disappear. And as you saw, the way we played in that second half, you pull up YouTube now. If you follow any college football content creators, every time you turn on ESPN, anything about college football, Alabama's back buzzing, and the word on the street is Bama's back. But I beg to differ. I think we never left. We just have a different mentality now. The mentality is there. We saw the development. A lot of fans were kind of tweaking out early in the season, but it's a process. We went through the same process early in Saban's career, his stint here at Alabama. 2007 to 2009, it was not, the golden era. 2008 wasn't blowouts every game. 2009 wasn't blowouts every game. We had games where you just saw guys developing, and that's what I'm seeing with this team, man. Just a new sense of attention to detail. And I want to give a shout out to Tommy Rees, man. A lot of people not giving this guy credit right now, but Tommy Rees has been thrown into like a position that a lot of offensive coordinators with far more years of experience would be struggling heavily with right now. Being an offensive coordinator, coaching under Nick Saban, knowing that you may have a solid philosophy in what you're trying to implement, but you have to buy into, even as a coach, as a coordinator, your play calling style and what you see on the field has to buy into that process. And not a lot of coordinators can do that. And for him to be 31 years old, I want to say 32 years old, 30 years as a play caller, on the college level, he didn't, call at the high school level. He came right into the college level as a grad assistant, QB coach, and then he was calling plays. So this guy's developing at a rate that we need to appreciate. And I'm excited to see what he's going to look like against LSU, being that this is a game. This defense gives up a lot in the run game. This defense, anytime they play offenses that can lead the game, they can be balanced in the game, leading with the run attack, i.e. Arkansas, i.e. Ole Miss. Both of those offenses thrive off the run game. They build off the run game. Tommy Rees wants to call that similar play style. And I think it could pan out good for Alabama. And this defense is just elite, man. Arnold back healthy. I think Amos is going to see more of the field. I think we're going to see more of Malachi and Caleb over top, forcing Key down to, getting those man cover situations, walking him closer to the line of scrimmage, because he displayed a different skill set this past weekend in the second half, too, that I didn't have, too much confidence in. So I'm excited to see what this team is going to do going forward. I don't want to give no predictions or anything going forward, but I'm really excited about this team, Steven.
I mean, Smoke, I am also. And if you want any indication about the job that Tommy Rees has done in terms of his growth game by game, you look at this. Jalen Milroe has a passer rating of 175. That's in the top 10 in the country among quarterbacks in college football. That's number 2 in the SEC behind Jayden Daniels. So he has a 175 passer rating. And then another thing about Jalen Milroe, he's averaging 10.6 yards per attempt. That's number 3 in the nation. So the growth here that Tommy Rees has taken with Milroe, and here's another crazy stat here. It's crazy. Of Milroe's 13 touchdown passes, 10 have come on throws 20-plus yards.
Sir. And that's a stat to highlight because it's a consistent stat with Jalen Milroe, and even how Tommy Rees is placing those pass plays, those big shots. They've been in good spots. You know, early on in the season against Texas, they were questionable. You know, he didn't really have a grip on how this team needed to move, but I think with this offensive line growing, Caden Proctor and Latham really solidifying themselves and taking a step forward this past weekend, getting those tackle spots shored up, and then just the play calling, the sets that was out there, man. Tommy Rees helped those guys out a lot. We saw a lot of Robbie Oots on the left side, H-back on the line. We saw a lot of Dupree there. We saw a lot of split with knee black, motioning in, chipping the end, chipping the edge. It was a lot of things that, as Bama Nation, we were asking for in week 1 from a guy who hasn't even called a game under Coach Saban yet. You get what I'm saying? So no film work to work with, no time to get adjusted to, adjusting the game film sessions and how to implement those things. Like he's really developing, guys. So I'm excited. And to a point, man, this LSU offense has not played a solid defense yet. I'm tired of people like, They nice. Jayden Daniels is nice, but they haven't played a defense that has 4 or 5 legit guys on that side of the ball starting.
Since Florida State. They haven't played anybody since Florida State.
Right. And even Florida State's defense is not great right now. So, that was just, week 1 catching everybody green, good look. You know what I'm saying? That's what that game was. But this LSU offense going to see something different. Kevin Steele these are the type of games Kevin Steele thrives on when it comes to his play calling. Deontay Lawson, Jahad Campbell, Tresman Marshall, and I even think Kendrick Blackshear and Quandarius Robinson are going to be highly implemented in the rotation in this game.
It's going to be a good one, man. It's going to be a fun one in Tuscaloosa next week. Appreciate you, Smoke.
Yes, sir. Hey, have a good one, man. I'm going to still tune in, man. Roll Tide. Much love to everybody in the chat. Blue Inch Gang. Much love, everybody.
Coach Smoke there calling in right there on the show on a Friday. It's going to be a fun matchup. Bama, LSU. It's always been a fun matchup. I mentioned this before. This game, conference championship implications, national championship implications, big recruiting implications. It's always been that way when these two titans collide. Excuse me, two titans collide. Clash is not a word. Collide. Golly, do I have to have a dictionary on the show now? Collide. There we go. But cool call topic right here, folks. Could a Bama legend, a former 5-star, a Heisman winner, a college football playoff national champion, a former All-American, could one of the faces of the National Football League be on the move to a new team? Derrick Henry. The Tennessee Titans, I've said this, they're wasting Derrick Henry. They really are. Henry, 3-time Pro Bowler, 2020 first-team All-Pro, 2020 NFL Offensive Player of the Year, 2-time NFL rushing yards leader, 2-time NFL rushing touchdowns leader. I just feel like Tennessee's wasting him, just like Atlanta wasted Julio. Now, Derrick at 29 years of age, there are several teams right now interested in getting Henry in a trade. One of those teams, the Baltimore Ravens, have expressed huge interest in wanting Derrick Henry. The trade deadline is on Halloween at 3 p.m. Central Time to move players. That's the deadline. Eli, if the Ravens were to get Derrick Henry, could you imagine Lamar El Freaky Jackson with Derrick Henry? I mean, that's just sinful. That's just wrong. Lamar Jackson, that's just wrong. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys have expressed interest. I kind of don't want to see Derek and Big D, though. I kind of don't. I have my reasons as to why I don't. I'm not going to divulge into those. I just don't want to see him in Dallas, though. I just really don't. Derrick Henry in Miami? Hey, Dolphins. Hey, Miami. And I know y'all got Devon A-Chain in them, but hey, pick up the phone, Miami. That'd be cool. I can get down with that. Just saying. But the trade talks heating up. Derrick Henry could potentially be out of Tennessee. If it happens, I'm cool with that. We take our final break here on the show and touch that dial. When we get back, we wrap things up with a little discussion. I just feel like this Alabama-LSU game is not being talked about enough. I get into why that is right after this.
I'm Malachi Moore, and you're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith on Touchdown Alabama YouTube channel.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
What's going on? This is Benny Bice. I'm the founder and owner of Touchdown Alabama, and you guys are supporting one of the only independent outlets covering Alabama football today. No other sports, no networks, just Alabama football. Roll Tide Roll.
All right, folks, you're rocking and rolling right into the action from the break. Number one ticket, baby. Bama football news, in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Happy to have you guys all in here, checking us out on the show. Continue hitting the like button, smashing that subscribe button, making this your spot here for all things Bama football news coverage. All that good stuff right there. But final topic here, or discussion of conversation for Alabama for the show here. Look at this Alabama-LSU game, Eli. Is it me, or I'm just not seeing more conversation on this game, right? Normally, when it's Alabama-LSU, you got ESPN College Game Day breaking their neck to get down with Tuscaloosa. I don't know why I said that. I got my sister-in-law in me right then. But you got folks breaking their neck coming down here to see this matchup. You got ESPN Game Day down here. You got, SEC Nation, SEC Network down here. You got everybody and their great-grandmothers talking about it. This time around, you don't see just a whole lot of conversation between Alabama and LSU for this particular matchup right now. And it should be a lot of conversation because both teams have their destiny right in front of it, right? Alabama wins. They represent the West in Atlanta, SEC Championship. LSU wins. They can represent the West in Atlanta, SEC Championship. Both teams have a shot to compete to get into this college football playoff. Both teams know how big recruiting is. Nick Saban knows how big it is. Brian Kelly definitely knows how big it is. It's the reason why Brian Kelly left Notre Dame to come to LSU, because he couldn't get the type of players he wanted to get in Notre Dame. Couldn't get them. That's why he chose to come down to the South to LSU. So this game should have more tension on it. This game should have more eyeballs on it. This game should have, Bama fans should be a little concerned, about this game. I know some people are like, we're not concerned about LSU, not concerned about this game, but LSU's coming in with firepower. They're coming in with 2 or 3 receivers that can make a lot of big plays. They're coming in with a Heisman front runner at quarterback. They're coming in with a good run game. They're coming in with an offensive line that's looking to impose its will, and they're coming in defensively with one of the best players in the country, that being Harold Perkins, among other big-name guys. LSU's got talent. LSU's got difference makers. LSU's got dudes. This is one of the games of the year where it's the most physically draining as well as mentally draining because you're putting everything into this matchup. So more should be talked about when you discuss this matchup. I go back to, remember the game of the century, Eli? Final score was 6-9 LSU. People don't realize 48 players from that game combined got drafted to the NFL. 48, Eli. That game, and I was a freshman at UA watching that game. I was a freshman inside the stadium. I remember when Drew Allemon made the kick, I was sitting in between two sorority girls. They squoze the mess out of my hand. I don't know why. But I ended up losing that game 6-9, and that was a lonely walk back to my dorm. Very lonely walk there. But LSU's got talent. This game should be taken into high consideration by everybody. Now, upon Monday of next week or Sunday to open next week, I don't know what Vegas will have the line as. I don't know what the betting line could be. Am I saying I'm putting money on this? No. I'm just saying I'm intrigued by what the Vegas line could be. For the Tennessee game, the Vegas line was 10 in favor of Alabama. Bama covered, winning the game by 14. So I have no idea what the Vegas line could be here. Whether it could be higher or lower. I don't know. No earthly idea. But I'm looking forward to a great matchup, though. And a matchup that should be more so talked about, seeing how every year high implications happen for this game. But as always, Bama Nation, you want the best in news, notes, information, coverage, entertainment on your favorite program, that being Bama football. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. You download the app from the Apple and App Store if you're rocking Team Apple. Google Play Store if you got the Android phone for your audio needs. Check us out, iTunes or Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. We got you covered right there. Good and gracious Lord sees fit. I'll try to be back on Monday, continuing the conversation as Bama football. Guys, show some love to you, the Bama fans, for all the calls, donations, chatting, conversations, making this your show, your spot to talk all things Bama football. Guys, show some love to my man Eli Walker in the production studio, holding things down right there. Until next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored there. Be sure to get yourself those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Enjoy the bye week. Get that rest in there. Until next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen Smith. You've been listening to In My Own Words.